Howdy everybody, welcome back to the channel. You ready for today? I know I am. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. I see you have joined me when I have not fully completed my front porch yet. But we're gonna need to go out there anyway. Because I got rid of our strip miner. Now it is still partially down there because it fell off while I was trying to get rid of the rest of it, and it can be a memento now. That's what I'm calling it. I also took the conveyors out and just put a cargo container here just for some cargo access while outside, because I've now put a door in. So we are good to go on that front. This place is pretty much completely sealed off at this point, minus the big hole in the back here going to the sun tower. Still don't know what I'm doing with that, but we'll see. Now let's go out here. I should probably make a way to get to there. Do that, and you know what? Let's use some stairs too, just to stick with the theme. Ooh, and I still have wood on. Nice. We can keep using that. And then I think I like the white accent sides, so I'll keep that. Honestly, it looks like all I would need was a couple of those. Okay. That's weird. Says it can't draw something, and then the next time it draws everything. Not sure why that's a thing, but okay, Build Planner, you do your thing. Beautiful. So, I have moved our connector from over here to all the way over there. I got 3 there, and 1 here. This one, kind of pointless. Not going to use it. These are the 3 we're going to be playing with. And I have moved our miner over to here as well. First thing I'm going to do with the miner, though, is go ahead and get rid of this rear connector. We're not going to need it anymore. If you already have a bottom connector... Oh, God.
Inventory full.
Why is there so much stuff? If you already have stuff in your, not stuff, but if you already have a bottom connector on your ship, congratulations, you don't need to touch it. That's the one we're going to be working with. I have found through many a trial and error that that's the best way to do this. So what is this that you may be asking, that you already know the answer to because you saw the title of this video? We're gonna turn this humble little ship into our first drone. So to do that, we're gonna need to do a few things. 1, get rid of the rear connector. Then let's go ahead and get rid of the drill too. It's not gonna be needed. If we need it, we can go get another. We can get another ship, or we can just print this one off. Really doesn't matter. Secondly, we got rid of the rear connector, but we're gonna need to add some blocks to this. So let's go ahead and get those. We're gonna need a remote block. And then we're gonna grab this AI flight. Same thing we used, actually no, we haven't used it yet. Never mind. We're gonna use this. It's called AI flight. And you want the one with the little plus sign, so you have the list of all of them, just to save some toolbar space. Let's see. What else do we want? We are going to need, let's just go into grid automation, some timer blocks, and event controller. I believe that's it. Do I have an antenna on this? I do not. We are going to need one of those as well. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get out of our wood stage. And I'm going to build in white this time so you can see exactly what I'm putting down. First, I need this remote block. There is a front to these, if you didn't know. I did place the one on the ice mine in a particular way for a reason. The one on the ice mine really doesn't matter, though, because we're just controlling through a camera, so it automatically points where we want. Remote control blocks on ships, though. This is your top, where you can see the little gear, and then the eyeball is the front. That's kind of how we want it. Now, you don't necessarily have to have it on top, but you want the eyeball towards the front. At least I have found out. And I need to get some steel plate, apparently. It's so nice, actually, working at the base this time. Because now I can just... Oh, I have steel plate. What does this take? Interior plate. That'd be why. Getcha. I'm going to put all that stuff back. Give me some of that. Give me some of that. Love it. Beautiful. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. We are going to put this. Try to put it facing forward. Kind of like that. Next, we are going to grab our antenna. And do I want this on the front? How would this look? I mean, looks isn't really what I'm going for here. But, I mean, it could look cool, I guess. Yeah, why not? We'll put that there. Next, we're going to go ahead and go into our timer block. Tricked you there, didn't I? We just need one of these for right now. We will need more, but for right now, we're just going to put one. Actually, I don't want that there. I want it right next to the gyros. That's fine. I'm trying to plan this if you haven't noticed. And then number 5 is our flight stuff. Finally, the stuff for the drones. So, the first one we're looking at is the AI flight move. This is what actually helps the AI take control of your ship. Okay? So, you can see on it, there's a big red circle with the letter L on it. This side says front. This side has the green circle with the R. And then it says rear panel. This is directional. A few of these blocks are directional. Actually, I think all of them are... okay, maybe just 2 of them. Yeah. Okay, whatever. So this one and the next one are going to be directional. We want this AI flight move once I get the right one again. I'm just going to put it up here above the cockpit. It's what actually allows the AI to take control of the ship, like I said. Now, the rear panel is facing us, and the little rocket is the top. And it kind of points towards the front already. So we can see the F for the front. There's our red circle for the L. We want that on the left side of the ship, which would be our right. Go ahead and place that down. Next is the AI recorder. This is what we're going to use to record the paths for the ship. Now these, you should try to get as close to the connector as possible. I am going to go ahead and put it right here on the front. Next is the AI basic task. This one I don't believe is directional, but you can see it has the little planet on top. The AI basic task is basically what you could tell or what you can use to make ships go longer distances. So the recorder is used for short distances. I'd say like 500 to 1,000 meters. I probably wouldn't try to do more than that. I haven't personally tried to do more than that, to be honest with you. Um, any farther than that, I'm usually using the basic for it, just because it's meant for long distances. Because if this was a patrol drone, you have it patrolling around at like 5Ks out. It gets into a dogfight, its health is low enough, it wants to go home. This is the block that triggers that. Or this is the block it follows to go home. But that is it out of these. We're not going to really need the defensive, and we're not really going to need the offensive, because this isn't a fighting ship. You could put a gun on it and put defensive blocks on it and just tell it to go home while shooting back. But we don't really need to worry about that. We don't have anybody coming after us at the moment. So let's go ahead, get those welded up, and preemptively, I'm going to go ahead and tell you we need a second AI recorder and a second timer block and a second AI basic. Dun, dun, do that, and then timer block. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead, get those all welded up, and we will see you at the end. All right. Got all of our blocks. Oop. I missed my remote control. So while I finish this one up, let me explain what we're going to be doing. The with words, phonic. I swear, my brain. It's thinking faster than I'm speaking, and it's making things difficult. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hop in the cockpit of this thing. I'm going to go ahead and get in first person so I can do this a little easier. Remove from toolbar, remove from toolbar, remove from toolbar. Cool. So, what we're going to do is first go in here and disconnect our connector. Ice drone. Cool. And then unlock. Oh god. Uh-oh. Well, that's a thing. I guess I forgot to turn the thrusters on. Lovely. Let me get this fixed up. And make sure to turn your thrusters on, will you? Because this happens if you don't. Okay. Get this fixed up. Cool. So, now that my stupidity has been taken care of, we can finally do what I was supposed to be doing. So we're going to go into the control panel. We have the ship connected, and I also put 2 more batteries on it because I noticed the power while trying to move it was kind of maxing. So went ahead and put 2 more batteries on it. But yes, remote control 2. We are going to change this to if I can type today. Ice drone. And everything that says minor. I'm just gonna change minor to ice drone. There we go. Now we're good on that. We can hide that stuff again. Don't want to see it. Don't care. Alright, we're good. So, we're going to stay connected. But what we're going to do first is go into our flight stuff. So here's our 2 basic tasks that we put on. Our AI flight and our 2 recorders. We also have 2 timer blocks. First thing we're going to do is go into AI flight. Go to show on HUD and put precision mode on. Speed limit, we're going to keep it 10. Minimum altitude, we're going to drop down to 0. Cool? You like it? I do too. And then I am just going to put our famous phrase after it. Next, we need one of these AI basic tasks. Instead of just doing ice drone, though, we're going to do ice drone home base. Alright? Make sure you have that in there. Same thing with the AI recorder. And of course, it didn't get the eye. Love it. Alright. Now, these other ones, AI Basic, Task 3, we are going to change them to Ice Drone Mine. And that should look something like that. Now we're also going to put one of those on the timer block. And do the other one on the timer block as well. Sound good? I like it. Next thing. We're going to go into our AI recorders. Both of them. We're going to... Where is it at? Show path on HUD. And I believe that's the only one here. But we want them both to show it. We're only going to be using one at a time but we want them both to be on our HUD. Here it is. And then we're going to hit show on HUD. So show on HUD and show path on HUD. Make sure you go into your info tab up here and click show AI functions. And you'll see why here in a minute. Next, we're going to go ahead and call this the ice drone. And I am going to blueprint it. So to do that, why is these off? Oh, because I renamed them. That's why. Why are some of my thrusters... Shows some of my thrusters are off? There we go. Oh, it's the batteries that are mixed. I'm an idiot. Now we gotta fix those. There we go. Now we're good. We still got 47 minutes, so we're okay. So, now that we have all of our stuff named, we have show on HUD done, we have this taken as a blueprint, so we don't get it wrecked. I am going to go fly out here. Just a few hundred meters. Just so I can get a good lineup on that connector. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using the AI flight recorder as the landing, kind of like an ILS for an aircraft in real life. It'll kind of give the AI a landing path to follow and then come down smoothly. That way, we don't have to worry about too much. We do want to go to all blocks though. We are going to add the AI flight move. We want to be able to toggle AI behavior on and off. Next, we want the AI recorder that says home base. We want that to toggle AI behavior on off. And we want to do add waypoint. And we also want to do play. Make sense? Probably not, but I'll show you. Next, we want to be able to take our connector and toggle it on and off. And that should be it for now. We'll get to the basic tasks here in a little bit. Right now, we want to focus on our landing path. So, what we are going to do is we are going to use that add waypoint to add stopping points to this drone. So the connector is around about 250 meters away because the home antenna is 261, so I'm guessing about 250, which is plenty for these AI. You do not need to be even this far out. So what we're gonna do is we're going to do a GPS right here. So slash GPS, all lowercase, home base. We're going to use that later for the basic task. Now we also want to hit that number 6 or whatever it is for you to add a waypoint. Just once. Now if we did it everything right up until this point, we should be able to fly forward a little bit. And just for showing, I'm going to turn all of those off except for that one. And why are we not showing? Show path on HUD. It should be fine. Show path on HUD. Show on HUD. It already added our waypoint. For some reason, it is not wanting to show that for me. Let's try deleting it and making it new. So, 6. We should be okay either way. It just makes it harder when you can't see it. And I think it's just Space Engineers glitching out. I've noticed it does that sometimes. So what we will do instead is I will just show you where I'm going. And hopefully it will catch up. We're going to go about 40 to 50 meters away, go down a little bit, and press that 6 again to add another waypoint. Now we're going to go a little farther with this one, but we want to try and start making sure we're as lined up with that connector as we can be. We also want to make sure we are down a little bit. Add another waypoint. Just go forward. Down. Add another one. And then we'll add one about here. And then for this last one, we're going to go ahead and touch the connector, but don't add a waypoint. I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to make sure we are turned the right way, for one. I want to try and be as straight as possible, because this is going to come in handy when the other drones are coming in as well. If two of them happen to come in at the same time, you don't want one facing this way and the other one trying to land right next to it. So now we're going to just go ahead and turn our connector off, because if you look, there's a little gap in between the connectors when they are ready to connect. So we want to try and get rid of that gap as much as possible, because what the path is doing every time we hit a waypoint is not really recording the position of our ship. It's recording the position of that recorder. So it's going to try and put the recorder on those waypoints, not our ship. So if we just toggle a waypoint here, it's going to just try to put it there. So the ship could be facing over this way and be trying to put it, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and try to get onto this connector because I just screwed myself up. There we go. Make sure we're facing the right way. And now I'm gonna turn my connector off, but I'm gonna go straight up about, I'd say 10 meters or so. Just enough to where you have a pretty good clearance. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot. I'd say even like this is fine. So, we're going to add a waypoint there. Go ahead, turn the connector on so we can make sure we are perfectly centered with the connector. Turn it back off and come down just slightly to where pretty much they start going into each other. Then we're going to hit add our last waypoint. Now, we can go ahead, turn our connector on, go ahead and charge up really quick while we do this next part. Oh, and hey, there's our path. Cool, so they did show up now. I don't know why it took so long, but you can kind of see how that path comes down. Right? So, oh, it goes away. I'll do it in post-editing. You can kind of see how it actually creates a slow slope, basically. It's not perfectly diagonal, but it's just gradual enough to where it'll come to the number 5 waypoint, nice and slow, and come gently down. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to go into our AI recorder home base. We're going to go to, let's see, what is the waypoint that is about mid? We'll do number 3, because that's a pretty safe distance away. We'll see if that works. Home base. Waypoint 3. You just select that one. Set up action. And we are going to grab the AI flight move. And we are going to turn off collision avoidance. Sounds weird, but that's what we're going to do. Because when the drone comes into land, it's possible that it can consider other drones, the other connectors, even the base itself as part of a collision that it doesn't want to interact with, or doesn't want to fly into. Waypoint 4. Select action. We're going to go to our ice drone connector. We are going to make sure it is turned on. Just in case something weird goes on. It could be anything. This is Space Engineers. You will learn that very quickly. We're going to make sure that connector is turned on. And next, at waypoint 6, set up action. Back to our connector. Switch lock. And we will see what happens. Now, if you have everything correct, you should be able to move on to the next step. The only thing I want you to double check before you go trying it out is make sure your ship has thrust in all 6 directions. Forward, back, left, right, and even down. Even though technically the flight recorder and the AI flight move will not allow this to tip over, and it will use gravity to come down, the AI flight move tries to use those down thrusters to land. If it doesn't have any down thrusters, it won't go downwards. It'll just sit there and kind of bounce and do some weird stuff that took me an hour to figure out. Trust me, you do not want that headache. So, the last thing we're going to do before we hit play is we're going to go to AI flight move, because I forgot to do it earlier mainly, is pitch angle. I like to take this down to 30 degrees just to ensure that my thrusters can hold this ship up. Just in case, sometimes when the AI move the ship around or try to turn, it does get angled pretty seriously. So if it hits that 30 degrees, the AI will actually stop the ship, correct, and then keep going, which is actually pretty nice. Other than that, let's go ahead, test out our landing. So to do that, we're going to make sure our batteries are in auto, our thrusters are on, and switch lock. Disconnect from the base. Next, we are going to press number 4 to activate the flight AI move, AI flight move, whatever it is. We want the AI behavior on that to be on. So it should say autopilot enabled. Perfect. Next, we want the AI recorder AI behavior on. So we're going to hit number 5. Alright. Shows is on. Now, all we have to do is press number 7 and press the play button. Let's see what happens. So if we did everything correctly, it's going to move to that first waypoint we made. And actually, just to show you I'm not doing anything, I'm gonna catch a ride. So here's our home base. Like it, love it. How you doing? You ever been ship surfing? If you played SC long enough, you will. Trust me. So it went to our first waypoint. It is now going to the second. Now it is moving to the third. This is where I want to see. This is where I want to make sure it turned off collision avoidance. So here's waypoint 3. There it goes. Next, we want to make sure our connector is on. It is moving to its final destination. I'm just going to hover over the batteries and the thrusters, just in case it does something stupid. And we're locked. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's locked. Easiest way to fix this, if you have it connecting in a weird way, go ahead, just unlock it. Go to that recorder, the home base, and delete that one waypoint. And then do that step over again. So we are already lined up with the connector. We're going to turn it off. And we're going to try... What's going on here? Oh, my AI stuff's still on. Make sure to turn your AI behavior off so you can actually control the ship. Okay. And make sure you don't smash anything. Good. Love it. Let's bring that down just a hair. And number 6. Cool. I want to go back into that. make sure that says ice drone connector switch lock. BEA. Beautiful. And now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just fly in the distance somewhere. I don't know. That should be okay, you think, right? I think so. Just so I don't have to go into the console. Yeah, just so I don't have to go into the console. I'm gonna put that collision avoidance on off on my hotbar because I have one spot left anyway. And I'm gonna turn off my connector just so we can test this thing out fully, make sure that pathing is fine. So we're going to turn on our autopilot, turn on the recorder, and press play. Now we might actually be too far away from it for it to work. Behavior disabled. Oh, it might have already been on. Okay, my bad. That would be on me. It actually is working fine then. Alright, we're coming up to our first waypoint. I don't understand why it's not showing me anything, though. Show on HUD. Let's turn on collision avoidance. Because it's supposed to turn that off. So. Show on HUD. Maybe because this one is trying to show on HUD too. I don't know. I don't know why it only does it when it's connected to the base. Because this thing does have an antenna. So, don't know. Not sure on that one. But we should have collision avoidance turned off right there, which it did. Next one should be our connector. Or it's the one after that, one of the two. Nope, there it is. One after this is just lining ourselves up. Beautiful. And then it's coming down. And lock. Beautiful. What is that? What? Can I see that with spectator? I can. Did I accidentally hit something? What? I think SE is bugging out a bit. Ice drone waypoint. Home base waypoint. I have no idea what that's about. Yeah, 'cause that just gets rid of that one. No idea. Okay. Maybe because that's where I started. So it's gonna try and go back there? I don't know. Not sure why that's doing that. What about your waypoints? Oh, I might have accidentally hit the waypoint thing. Get rid of that. There we go. That's why. It was trying to go all the way over there for its last waypoint, and it couldn't. So, oh well. That's fine. So, now that we got our actual landing path done. We want to complicate it just a little bit. This is where our timer block comes in. So we're gonna go into where you at? Automaton, the timer block. That's a mouthful. And we're gonna choose the home base one. Our delay is gonna be about 2 seconds. There we go. And our actions are going to be connector, ice drone, switch lock, groups, ice drone batteries, recharge, and ice drone thrusters. Toggle block. Literally the same stuff we would be doing ourselves. We're gonna have the drone do. Just so we can get those batteries charged while it's just chilling here. Okay? Okay. Love it. And we want that delay to be about 2 seconds, because that little wiggle that you get when you first get into connection range and the magnetism works for the connectors, we want that to kind of settle and then lock. That's the reason for the 2 seconds. All right. Now, we need to go back to our flight recorder, the home base one, and that waypoint that we had the ice drone, switch the lock. We're going to go back to setup action and take that off. And instead, go to our timer block for the home base and just trigger start. Now, every time it gets to this last waypoint on the connector, it's going to trigger the timer block, which after 2 seconds is going to switch the lock on the connector, put the batteries in recharge, turn off the thrusters. This is the scary part. Before you hit play on it, make sure you have a blueprint, just in case. Because if something goes wrong, you have to be fast on getting the batteries and the thrusters turned back on, hovering your fingers over 2 and 3. If you're fast enough, not much damage is going to happen. But if you're not, and you're not paying attention, the drone can actually turn those off before it's in range of the connector, and the ship just falls out of the sky. Now, it may only be 5-6 feet, about 2 meters, but that's enough for small grid parts to break when colliding with large grid parts. So just keep that in mind. Now, we have our connector unlocked, batteries on auto, thrusters are on. We're going to go ahead and turn off the connector, turn on our collision avoidance, and I believe that's it. Let's go ahead and turn both of our AIs on, which is our AI flight and our AI recorder, and then hit play. Or not. What's going on here? It's at idle. Why are you at idle? Why do I have it? Oh, because I keep hitting the waypoint button. I really need to switch those. It's this one I want to press. Now, collision avoidance is on. That's why you saw it stutter there for a second. It was checking to make sure there was nothing in its path. Now, it's going to go to our first waypoint. Cool. On to waypoint 2, which is technically waypoint 1 in the books, but we won't worry about that. On to what is called waypoint 2. If you can hear my breathing, it's because I'm actually stressed, and it took me an hour yesterday to figure this out because I didn't have the downward thrusters on this ship. I took them off to save power in one of the previous episodes. Now it should be turning on the connector. It already turned off collision avoidance. Cool and cool. Now here's where we're hovering on our buttons. Gonna get nice and close. Let that wobble happen. Locked, batteries on recharge, and thrusters are off. Nice. And we are golden. You like that? Beautiful, isn't it? Now, we get to mess with some fun stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and get back in. We're going to go ahead and turn off our AI. And then we're going to go into our basic task, the one for home base. This one is relatively simple compared to what we've been doing. All this does is tell the ship to go to a waypoint. You could have this set to somewhere on the other side of the planet. You can have it set to 500 meters from your base. Does not matter. It's just going to go to the waypoint. You can also have it follow the player, which will choose, like it says, allows you to select a home beacon or GPS that the grid should follow. Can be set up to wander while it is within range. But, I'm sorry, that's follow home. So it would, say you have a large rover, a really big one, and this is kind of your defense turret. It's just going to stay within range of that rover as you're driving around the hills and the valleys and stuff like that. Follow player, the grid will follow the person who presses the follow me button. Pretty simple. I mean, not much more you can say about that. Autopilot allows the grid to move to GPS locations and patrol or circle between several locations. And patrol and circle requires 2 GPS locations. That part we're not going to worry too much about, but we do want autopilot, because we're going to send this to a certain location, which is the home base GPS that we set up earlier. For the mode, we want one way. That means when it hits that location point, it stops. We're going to choose our home base as the GPS location. And then when it gets to home base, we're going to set the action up as our AI recorder home base play. So what that's going to do is it's going to take the ship, it's going to send it to that home base GPS, which we marked as the first point for the recorder. When it gets to that first point, it's going to activate the recorder and let it go in to land. This is why we've kind of been working backwards, because we want to make sure it can land before we send it off somewhere and tell it to go land. Make sense? I think so. That's just me, though. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and get our ship in the air, put the batteries on auto, thrusters are on, turn off or disconnect the connector, and we're just going to go for a little trip, see the world. So, this, for the little ice base that I made, it's not going to be terrible because it's literally 300 meters from my base. Not that bad, right? So, let's say, I think I have one that can just be deleted. Yep, right over here. So it's another silicon, magnesium, and ice deposit that's down here in the valley that I probably won't use unless it's for silicon, magnesium, and ice. So we will go down to that. Make sure we don't crash this thing. And you don't have to be right on it. This is just a test. So as long as we're far enough away to where you really can't, you don't even have to be able to see the base. Just keep it going. We want to make sure collision avoidance is turned on though. So do that. Then we're going to turn off our connector. And from here, we're going to go ahead and swap out this. Well, first I'm going to take this waypoint off because I keep hitting it and I don't want to. We're going to take off the drone home base play button. And we're going to go ahead and add the AI basic task. We're going to turn behavior on off and play. Or let's see. I thought there was a play for this. Or is it the just behavior on off? We turn our AI flight on and we turn that one. Yeah. So if you just turn on the AI behavior for the basic task, it'll automatically start going to that waypoint that you set. It's gonna, if you have multiple waypoints, say you put your ship on patrol, it's gonna start following those waypoints in the order you set them out to be. So while this is flying, I'll show you. I am gonna keep an eye on it though, just because it looks like it's going straight for the mountain, and I really don't want to do that. Where are we at? There we are. So if you have more than one GPS point, you are able to move them up and down in the order, and it's gonna go from top to bottom. So that's how it patrols. That's if you have this set to patrol. So before I crash into the mountain, let's see what it does. Kind of curious. I've seen it go around mountains, so let's hope it does that. Before it does anything stupid, though, I'm gonna take another blueprint. And I do have collision avoidance on, so you see it did stop. Thankfully. Now, I can set this up, and I think I'm going to, if I ever use that silicon magnesium mine down there, to where it's gonna follow certain waypoints. Even with the mine that I have now, I might do that. Just to get it away from the mountain, and then start its coming into home. Basically take the scenic route out so we don't have collisions. But I think we should be alright. Get something to drink while we're just cruising. Kind of like having your own chauffeur. I like this. I don't even have to say, Jeffrey, take me home. We're about 400 meters away. That isn't bad. What we can do is actually speed that up. Is bring this speed limit to like 100. Because what it'll actually do is slow down when it gets to that home base point. Plus you can see it only went like a max of like 30. So it's not going to be terrible. So it's going to try and get exactly on that point. It turned off, and if you look at our number 5, it turned on the recorder. It hit play on the recorder. So now we're in that sequence. And we have started our landing cycle. landing procedure, I guess you could call it. But whatever. You do you. Gonna hit that. We still have collision avoidance on. What are you doing? It might be going too fast at this point. Actually, no. It is smoking. I am missing a thruster. What happened there, bud? I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, see, it's not able to... I got it to function, and... Where are you going now? What are you doing? You're being very weird, sir. It is trying to go back to the landing sequence, though. That is really cool. But I still don't trust it, so I'm gonna hover over that 2 and 3 just in case. That was weird. I don't know how it got damaged, though. BEA. Beautiful. So, minus the little hiccup with the thruster, it worked perfectly. I couldn't have done it better, honestly. So, next, we need to do the same thing with that vertical connector down this way. We're going to repeat the exact same steps. Problem is, I kind of screwed myself because I put the ceiling right above the connector, and that's just not right. So I need to do some modifications here, and then I will go ahead and do the rest, this same setup for this space. Make sure it all works. Do the exact same steps just for the recorder and the task that says ice mine. Or mine, I think we put it as. Yeah. So for the ones that say mine is what you're going to be setting next. You're not overriding the home base ones. So just the recorder that says mine and the basic task that says mine. Okay? Okay. See you on the other side. Okay, I am off. Make sure I'm not in cheat mode still. I got plenty. Cool. So, you set up your ship to do the same things down at your mine as you did here at the home base. So, what now? How do we make it go from here to there and back without us ever doing anything? Well, that is where we are going to grab those new fancy handy dandy event controllers. We're going to need 2 of them. So I'm just going to slap them once I get parts for them right in front of those batteries. One, two. All right. Now, there we go. We're going to look for event controllers that are white. if I were to weld them up first. Because I'm kind of a dum-dum. Now we can get in there. There we are. So, first one, we're going to name home base. I know, original, right? And can you guess what the next one's going to be? That's right, ice mine. See, you're learning. So, for the home base one, we're going to leave alone for right now, because this is the one that's going to activate while I'm at my home base. If you're currently at your mine, leave the mine one off and do the opposite one. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do cargo filled equal to or greater than for when you're at your mine. If you're doing the one for your home base, make sure it says equal to or less than. Mine's going to say about 98%. Next, we're going to look at our cargo. We can have both of them. And then our actions. This is the important part. We are going to look for connector ice drone. Well, all these actions are going to happen in once, but I want to put them in as I would do them myself. So first, we need batteries on auto, right? Next, we need the thrusters on. First, make sure you're on the second toolbar for this one. Okay. Next, we're going to want our connector to unlock. Oh. As long as I'm on the right toolbar. We want that to unlock, not switch lock. And next, we're going to play... where is it at? Oh, up here. The basic task for the mine. Just turn AI behavior on. Cool? I think so. Now. Wait, no. We want not the ice mine. Remove that one. We want the home base. Because we're doing the mine one. Yes. So it should send it to home base. Cool. If you're doing your home base one, it should send it to the mine. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the home base. Except we're going to do cargo filled equal to or less than... I'd say 10%. Roundabout. Same thing. We're going to be looking at our cargo. Select actions. Then we are going to put the batteries to an auto. Ice drone thrusters to on the correct toolbar, please. You can tell I'm tired because I'm messing up a lot. And I apologize for that. Must be suffering with it. Unlock the connector. And then we are gonna send you to the mine. That one. AI behavior on. So, now, what we're gonna do is just make sure that our AI is turned on. And then you may have to go in and see, yeah, I have a bunch of stuff in my ship. So what I'm gonna do is go over here to large cargo container. And see, it immediately took off. Now, the part that I will show you next time is how to actually have both cargoes be completely full and both cargoes be completely empty. Because what ends up happening with these two cargoes is you need a second event controller for each side. Because if we go in, or actually, I'll show you when this lands because I still want to make sure it lands and goes safely. Right now, my hands are off the keyboard, so we're just letting it do its thing. I'm just going to hover over my 2 and 3 to turn those batteries and thrusters back on in case something goes wrong. Here we go. Coming in, going down. Locked. Now let's check the inventory, see if it's filling up. Not right now, it's not. Cool, so I have time. So, what I was saying is you'll need a second event controller for each one. And use this AND gate. What the AND gate does is makes it to where two event controllers are going to be looking at two separate things, and as long as both of those conditions are met, then it will do the action. I believe that's how it goes. I'm still working on making sure. We are going to help it along a little bit. So we are just going to fill that container. Say it got full. And it is going to go about its way back to our home base GPS. Bueno. Gucci so far. Now this ship is pretty heavy. It is running at 52, just under 53,000 kilograms. So, you know, we got quite a bit of stuff on here. I mean, what is it? Almost 20K of ice right there. 3,000 liters, 2,700 liters. Yeah. We're running pretty good. We won't have to worry about ice ever again. Which is going to lead us into the next episode. Getting a little more sustainable power with our little base going on here. Which isn't so little anymore looking at it. Oh, it's going to mess up. See? Now that tells me I need to go in. We're going to go to the home. And all I'm going to do is just delete waypoint 6. Our last one where it actually triggers that timer block. And I'm going to make sure don't have that stuff on. I want my recorder for home base to add a waypoint. Gotta turn AI off. And I want to get that connector as inside of the other one as I can. And you can probably hear me just trying to tap my keyboard. I'm gonna reset here. I want to get as far down as I can, but I don't want to be too far back either. I want that connector to magnetize. I want to be as centered as I can be. So get that down in. Hit our waypoint. There we go. That should fix that issue. So now we can go back in, go to our home base recorder. Our last waypoint, which looks like it is waypoint 6. Setup action. And activate the timer block for the home base. Perfect. And I might increase those to like 3 seconds just to give it a little extra time, but may just have to fiddle with it, see what's going on, and kind of get the positioning right, because it's watching those recorders. So if you can get those just in the center, like one in the front, one in the back, I think you'll be better off than having them both offset a little bit, because it's going to try and put that recorder right back where it is. So chip can be skewed a little bit either way, and it'll think it's in the right spot. So, but that's pretty much it. Now when that completely empties, it'll head back for more, get completely full, and come back. I like it. I hope you do too. But with that, we are going to listen to my voice squeak as it did, and catch you in the next episode. Have a good night, everybody.